Good morning, good afternoon, good night. September the 9th, 2025. Let's talk through it. Let's set up our replay into the open. Let's see here. So, this is roughly our overnight setup. Um, so what we're seeing here, the 930 boxes from yesterday and the previous day, and if you notice, we're just sitting in between them. So we're having a really hard time breaking to one side or the other. So what is our data telling us? Our data is giving us for high of day and low of day, it's telling us that we could really go either way, right? It's a bit sporadic with setups like this. So that's a bit problematic, but it's what it is. We have several options. We can make a decision to take our trade at the open. We can wait for one side to get hit and take it back to the other side. Just depends on how you want to play this. So one of the things we take note of is yesterday we had really high statistical probability to get down to here, right? And we did not get back to that area. So this, for me, is a target, especially because there's a low of day in this area. There's also an imbalance down here if you follow footprint, but if you don't, that's fine as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait till we get close to the open, kind of see what our setup is, if we can kind of break through this zone here. And if we continue to find trouble here, then we look to short the open, try to get down here. Our main statistic that we have not taken out is clearing out this low of day, right? So the low of day, if you look at the data, is telling us that it's most likely to get put in after the open. There's also a possibility to sweep both sides here, right? So if we pop the high first, then we go hit that short. That's what it is as well. Not a big deal. So, for us, that was the play, right? The play was to try to find this thing back down into this zone right here, scaling out once we got down through this area right here. So now the problem is this short was a bit tricky. So what we do, we play it into the open. We see what we get. Let's see, where's the open here? The open is going to be right in here, give or take. Yes. So we'll get one more candle. All right. And we look for any potential movement to the upside. So as we get movement to the upside, if we're looking to short this thing in here, up in this zone, all the way up into this high of day is where we want to see it occur. So we can take our initial short, we can take it here. Typically, we will take a couple of these. So, and then we're really looking for a target down here. We want to scale out right here. All right. So the problem we're going to run into is if we scale, where is our stop going to be? Well, we know we could really start blowing back into this high of day once we take out this statistical low. So the scale is going to be down here through this area, right? So that's what we'll do. So we're going to take anything that we get. And again, if we really push to the high side, we're going to look to add to the short, or we could look for a stop and then look for this thing to touch this high of day and then come back down. It's a bit of a tricky day. Took it a while to get down there. And so then what we look to do is if we get too far back into this 930 zone here, what we want to do is we really just want to take it off the table. We don't want to ride it back into this high day. We'd rather wait for it. So that's what we ended up doing. So we took just over half the position there. Then we waited for this thing. It came back too high, so we ended up just cutting the trade. Now, the place you want to short this thing if you're still short biased, and this is something I called out this morning, is that you want to short it right here. Right? If you're really looking for this thing to come back down, this is your first, just kind of like the open, right? This is that 930 zone you want to look to short because we're still going to chase this imbalance zone. Now, I ended up not taking that short again just because of the potential to pop into this high of day. But if you were to take that short, it would have been a lovely short back into this imbalance zone. We tried to find support in the imbalance zone. We touch our low of day, and then we start to move back out, right? And it really starts to align with that, late 10 o'clock, early 11 o'clock reversal time. So it's a really solid setup to get this move back into this high of day zone later on. We're setting up a harmonic pattern as we would to try to blow through all of this. And if we can't, then we'll just dump back down even lower through the end of the day. But if we bump back over to data, there's no guarantee, right? But statistically, the end of the day is where we tend to put in the high. So more likely than not, we're going to put the high in at the end of the day. And so we just ride this thing back up, right? And we're getting into where we are right now in the day. So this is basically the trade you'd want to take. So if you weren't short biased and you were long biased, especially if you were going to wait and see which one of these sides got taken out first, this is the area you'd want to start building your long. All right. So that's really all I have for today. I mean, for the most part, we're just waiting to see if we can get back through all of this stuff here that we've not been able to pop through. And we have a lot of 930 areas, right? We have the 2 days ago here, yesterday here, and then today right here. So there's just a lot of grinding that's going to have to be done. And you'll potentially sit through pullbacks, even a sweep if you have to try to go get that high of day. And you'll notice these additional high of day, there's an additional low of day, and those are just extended zones. So if we look over here at this data, we start getting out into these areas, right? So, that's really all this is. It's just the extension if we happen to really pop or we really tend to pull. So other than that, that was really the day. I like to trade the inefficiencies at the open, so I tend to look for open trades. This was just one of those days. I got my first scale. I ended up exiting. I didn't really get down to this low of day, even though it was the right target. Some days it just happens that way. Sorry, I wasn't looking at this. But yeah, either way, we came down to get the imbalance. We got the low of day. Now we're just trying to move back into this high of day zone to see if we can extend to go get this high side 24,000. But, we have the rest of the week to do that. We also have this weekly open sitting down here that's going, tomorrow through the rest of the week. It'll always be one of those things that we're going to look for if we pull back. So I hope everybody had a good day. And, I'll see everybody tomorrow.